how do I take over a company comes with a first realization of the environment. So where I need to, for myself, depict what environment this company is operating. And there is also the internal element. So it's a simple SWOT analysis that would be done, but not in a way like you say, I've done an MBA. So when at the end of my MBA, I believe that, Jack Welch, General Electrics, easy peasy. I do that on Monday morning, and the rest of the week, I just go and play golf, right? So there is a theory of everything that you can and can't do, but taking over a company comes with this multi-dimensional SWOT. Let's say there is you have to do it business school wise. You have to do it also your own in that environment. Realize what you can't do. What do you bring into this company? But that's something that would normally, naturally happen during the recruitment process. So you don't recruit it and you don't say yes to take over a company if you don't have a minimum an understanding of the challenge that you are going to be facing. Those challenges, for me, need to be quite high. I know that other people need to have lower challenges, or if the challenges are too high for them, they will try to hedge them. I will try to find ways to build a solution for those challenges that push the company forward. That's more my thought. So I'm going to take the example of the last one I took, which was to take a small department into a firm with a global market. And I've done strategy, SWOT. I've achieved my own what I can and can't do. And that was the first basis. Then I needed to also simplify the message, simplify the strategy, simplify the goal, so that the team needs to be able to, or was going to be able to see where we're going to go. Because if the strategy is very ambitious, that has been transpiration of the strategy to the team, but that the team is not aligned, then it's going to fly. So I come back to the heavy lifting. That was a hell of a challenge, and it needed a hell of a number of shoulders to lift that stuff and move forward. So when I've defined that, the moment had come to meet the team, to my first day in the office. And my first day in the office is I speak to my management first. I don't see anyone. I don't want to see anyone at this stage. I want to speak to the management, and I want to speak to the management alone, without the stakeholders, without the previous managers or whoever is going to be supporting this. It has to be, like a 1 to 5, or that, like, creating the situation that is going to be a positive step. An assessment of the people, assessment of myself, in the situation, and start building the relationship. The emotional link is important. Doesn't have to like the people, but it has to be an emotion. I have to see emotion from them and from me at the end of my 10, 15 minutes. It needed to be clear that for them and for me, we were going to be together in that journey. They were with me, I was with them, and then we need to build on that. The second element is to be able to create a link with the team. I mentioned also Julius Caesar, who went in the first line to fight with his guys. If he doesn't know his guys before, he wouldn't never have been there. So his campaign, his moment of truth there came from months and months of hard work, of working with those guys, sometimes sleeping better than them, that's clear. But, there was a lot of moment that created the touch points with his team members, high up and lower down, that creating the ability to have the trust that, I'm sure some leaders that were badly behaving with their team, if he was going in the first line for a fight, he was going to find himself alone because the other was flee and then he's dead. Yeah. So the team, the spirit of a team, not the team spirit, the spirit of the team moving forward is very important to be created. And you don't have, many days to do that. If you do that on day 10, it's too late. So once the management team was met, then I needed to meet the team, and I met all of them. So introducing myself, themselves as well. But it's very important that they created that moment, an emotional link. With some, it was, there's many people, so you can't. But if the team is too big, then make a town hall. Make a moment, gather everyone. And if you can't gather everyone, make sure that everyone has a message on their desk at some point that you've come, that you do something. So there is not necessarily a physical moment with people, but there has to be a moment where there was a before you and after you. And on that, you can start building. Then, okay, we speak a lot about the 100 days. I've been spoken about that quite a lot, and during my career, it's so important and so on. I don't measure that way. For me, the 100 days is simply is nice. It's a milestone. You can say it's done and so on. I think what's important is to create motion, but you can't create motion too quickly. If you create motion too quickly without having hammered in your goal, your vision, where you're going to go, and that's clear for everyone, then the motion is going simply to be like, those basket with a lot of, little things that move, or, it's not going to be moving in the right direction. Like molecules in a room is going all over the place when you heat it. So if you heat a room like in thermodynamic, you need to be able to, create the motion towards that the right goal, the right. So it has to be like a hairdryer or something that push everything in the right direction. And there, a very clever person, I'm not going to mention him, but he said, we were working precisely on this when I took over that company. And he said, François, you need to slow things down to win time. No, don't accelerate. Slow down, put the steps in, your milestone, and you create the right environment so that your team will be functional. Not, the forming, norming, and, there has to be a moment where you create those steps. If the team doesn't have the time to start fitting with each other and being given the right guidance to start fitting with each other, then it's not going to fly. And one very important element at the time was everything under the rug. They were just like best friends, but they didn't like each other. They didn't speak with each other, and there was so many unsaid that it was impossible that they could work. So what the first thing we've done was spending one evening, the whole morning until maybe then lunch and then 3 o'clock, and then we need to speak about the elephant in the room. Was two sales channel were competing unfairly with each other, and it needed to be said. People needed to be accepting it because operationally we couldn't change it, but we need to find a way to make it work. And then that was the moment where we changed the approach. The team changed. That was important and needed the time to get there. But had I done that the first day, then it would never have been able to work. Yeah. So, and of course, after that, you need to start delivering results, growth, or money, or integration, or review of strategic plan, which always happen because the environment change. You make assumptions that don't work, and be transparent about that. The choice you make also at the beginning needs to define you. Do you choose to be a distant leader, or do you choose to be a leader that is going to be with the team? Do you choose to be diplomatic, or do you choose to be not diplomatic? And so your personality, the way you want to act and will present yourself as a leader is also very important. I think it was pretty clear from the discussions before what I've chosen and what I feel at ease with. But I know some leaders, they tend to have different personality for different situation. And it's powerful sometimes, and sometimes it's not powerful. The point there, and if I come back to the SWOT analysis, you analyze the company, you analyze the environment, but you also analyze yourself. What works for you, and what works for you may not well work for another one. And somebody copying my style may not be successful, or could be more successful than, just you need to feel it to make the assessment, an objective assessment, but also to feel it. The right amount between emotion and objectivity is going to be what is going to drive you to the right place and the right format as a leader.